Hello, it's Prince Easy, and as usual, let's get to it. All right. So we talked about the desert being undone over there in the Sahel, and you need to lay proper infrastructure to channel this water for it to not to be destructive, right? You need to prepare, right? First to harness this water, so build places where you can collect this water for further use, maybe irrigation or whatever. Okay, I see all of you have these programs going on, and that's a good thing. Okay, so irrigation push should increase. Okay, we are not where we are supposed to be when it comes to the whole food situation, right? Regardless of different levels of achievement across the board, but it's not enough. Okay, so the second issue, there are multiple diseases that we have talked about here many times. Okay, and all of you should be prepared for these diseases, right? Many of them, we have talked about them, right? And since the Tanzanians are more experienced and more informed, the information should continue to spread, right? It's unsettling to hear that there are cases of cholera in Nigeria, right? Like, we've been talking about cholera here, right? I remember early in the days, even to DRC, you remember those cases? We talked about it back then, and it's still relevant now, right? So this blessing of water, if we are not prepared, it can be a problem, right? And this blessing is pouring in strongly, right? I just have to delay it a little bit, just because people are shaking off that sleepy feeling. Okay, let's shift our attention to Congo. First, there was a case of two drunk soldiers with guns fighting over a woman, and the only thing that settled that supposed dispute, that woman died. And these niggas had the nerve to dump her on the road. Okay, maybe this is the reason why things continue to progress the way they are. It's because the relationship is broken, right? The relationship between the law enforcement and the people is broken in these portions, not the entirety of the country, but especially these northern regions. You understand what I mean, right? So people know that these police are the criminals. They are the ones conducting these things. So what do? You establish a safe way to root out these evil people and take their guns away from them, right? Not everybody can be a soldier, regardless of the situation. It requires decision making that it's a big responsibility. Let's just say that. It's a big responsibility, right? And for all of you who are doing, yeah, that's a weapon. That's a bioweapon, right? The bioweapon, you feel it in your throat, and you can get rid of it easily by using acidic fruits, Yeah. So like grapes, fermented anyway, right? And oranges, things like this. Yeah. And there are other means that later on will, as things ramp up, I will expose you to them. That will permanently help secure our situation. But of now, those are the things that, okay? So I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot of people from different places to know that, yeah, the bioweapons are extremely active here, right? So it's going to end, right? So going back to the whole list of diseases, right? And then there is this case where there was a Lendo people, again, two people fighting, and then shots were fired, and one shot ended up in a child's head. Yes, they were apprehended, but this is the type of situation I want to emphasize, right? Discipline. War is brutal, but if you lose discipline, like I've said again, you will become your enemies, right? If you do not value life, you will become your enemies. That's why I gave these people who are positioning themselves to be our enemies, I gave them an option to give up their weapons. It's quite fair because I value life. So it should be in the back of your heads. Do not be consumed by hate and revenge. Your focus is to stabilize, to keep the people safe, not to fight the enemy. No, your primary objective is to keep people alive. And then when you are doing a responsibility, then war comes after that, because you are anchored, right? You are anchored, you have a purpose, right? You are not like these people who just have no purpose, no goal, no nothing. They just kill, right? So that's why I said what I said last time, okay? So be careful with these guns, especially around civilians. And these people should have high discipline. They shouldn't just be roaming around unmonitored and supervised. Okay, there are idiots within those ranks that should not be there. Okay, and that is one thing that you should be looking out for. Right? I'm just saying. Okay, because in most cases, these same groups that help fight the enemy, because they were not checked after this supposed war ends, they become the insurgents. You understand what I'm trying to avoid here? So be careful with that. Have discipline. Have discipline when you have guns. So, all of this that is happening elsewhere is just a diversion, right? It is serious, but it's a diversion. Focus your whole where you are focusing it. Okay, you have enough manpower, you have enough equipment to launch assault all over the place. So use your resources, the whole of them. Okay, I know what is happening over there in Beni, and all of these small groups are now popping up out of nowhere trying to just kill people. They live by the sword, they die by the sword. Just a basic judgment given to people like them. So you give them the sword. Hard. You understand? I'll put up that link in the description of this video, along with other 2 links, right? So, yeah. So, what is this about? These forces, these market forces, put us in this predicament. You have oil, okay? If you want to know the effects of these market forces, come to Tanzania. Ask the president how much she spends to subsidize the price of oil, to stabilize the price of oil within the country, because their price is immovable. Their price is immovable. These Arabs, the Russians and the Chinese, their prices are literally immovable. And all they can do, because they are harvesting money which they don't really need, all they can say is, forces of the market. These are the forces of the market that determine the pricing of this product that we have. It's insane to me. Seriously, it is. Because the alternative is madness. So our priority is to not satisfy the market's requirement or needs. We are not here. We are against the market, if you don't know. We are at war with these people who set up that market, if it's not these colonial powers. Are you insane? So you're going to let them set the pricing of your fuel? If that's not madness, then brothers, tell me what is. Just tell me. Please. So this situation, let me tell you the problem. I once told you, when this first began, this is a war, a full-on war. Do you understand what I'm saying? It might be by nature atrocious, but it's a war regardless. Okay, so let me get this straight. They set up a roadblock on a very famous road, right? Highway, if that's not the phrasing I would use. Yeah, they set up a block, and then they supposedly kidnap an unidentified number of people, and then the information is relayed to the security people in time for them to scramble these 7 people here, these 7 souls in a car, in order to look at this situation. Why did you think this was enough? I'm not blaming you. I understand why they did it. It is a show of power. The intention was not the kidnapping. The intention was to kill you. So these are not bandits. They lay an ambush. You said it. They laid an ambush. That whole kidnapping was just a setup to lure you in so as they can hit you. Right? So you went there. I don't think you even went with the armored car. I've told you the situation is intense with me, and you have to be intense. until I tell you otherwise. So these are not bandits, right? And the police do not have the training nor the gear to handle these people. So you need to create a hybrid force, right? Because of the nature of how they are doing it. And then have serious equipment. Your country is being invaded systematically. Okay? And I need you also, those people in the Sahel, to have that same stance, hold that same mentality. Okay? So the same thing they are doing in Congo is the same thing they are doing in Nigeria. You see these rituals, right? Nigeria prison break, Congo prison break. Flooding. Even here, flooding. These are just weapons of theirs. And I know how to defeat them. All you have to do is just listen. So you had success, I heard about the assault with the choppers. Now they had to distract you and pull you somewhere else, right? That's why I instructed you to deploy those forces in those areas. Now I don't know if you are mobilizing or what. So it should be within 5 minutes of them doing anything. Okay, I'm hearing that they stayed on that road for a long time, right? So this is not a good sign of your preparedness and taking this whole situation seriously. Okay, just like what the leader of that place said, there's aspect of sabotage, accomplices of this ideology of separatists within this nation. So these are not bandits. They're just killers, terrorists. They want to terrorize the people. That's the appropriate term. They want to terrorize the people. They want to charge people money unfairly. So if they send 10, I want you to send 100. Okay? That's a routine from now. Make it clearly seen that when they do something, they are not gonna, there's no make it impossible for them to pull back or run away. No. The topology there is quite favorable to you. It's different from the Congos over there. Okay? So I want boots on the ground. That's what I want. Boots on the ground. And the war is gonna go where? Where I just told you where it was gonna go. That's why they're trying to pull you away from the whole situation. So Zamfara should be protected seriously, and the leadership there should, before the operation, first all of those who knew about the operation and the whole situation, after these people were dispatched, there should be a follow-up. Okay? They laid an ambush. That's what they did. They waited to kill you. Okay? So they might try to stretch your forces in order to find a weakness. But it's all about the response time, not about stretching out the forces, just about the response time. How quick can you get somewhere, right? there's this flooding over there, but I've not seen even a single boat helping to rescue people deep inside those flooded regions. Not even one. So you don't have boats that you use for your service, right? And I hear this nonsense of people being charged money to be rescued. You need to look, each one of you need to look inside you to find what you are supposed to do. Find your responsibility and have the strength to do it. And those who don't need to go, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Because me and you, we know it cannot continue like this any longer. And I've shown you the conspiracy, and you have seen them react after the exposure of so-said conspiracy. So, handle your business. The war of attrition continues. So what? Uganda is now in the same sentence as theft. What would that do to the market of Uganda? It's like saying the gold from a certain country is blood. It comes from blood, like the blood diamond whole situation. And funny enough, you know what happened to the whole phenomenon of the blood diamond? They rose in price. That's how messed up this whole world is right now. So they're threatened by Zion, so they gotta do stuff like this. Make it seem like coal theft is a big problem. No, they are doing this so as they can create a favorable market for their buyers. So they are hoping the price of coffee drops. Okay, you understand how these people operate now? Right? I told you once, the stock market is run by speculation and rumors. So they are hoping the price of coffee in Uganda drops, which will also affect the pricing of coffee in Tanzania. So what I would suggest to defeat this, right? All of you who are in Zion who produce coffee, sell to the world as one, and then split the money in like what you have offered. Because they will continue. And this will cause separation, right? If they are fixing prices, like I have said many times before, just like the Dangote fuel situation, it's just price fixing, and it's not okay and should not be entertained. So if they are fixing prices in Uganda, that will definitely affect the quote-unquote prices of coffee in the world market, the supposed world market. Right? That the seller has no power. It's insane. And it's time we break it. And this should apply to even other products that we sell for cash. So we choose a currency, okay, and we choose the products that we are going to prioritize. And then we create agreements on how to split the money, because there is no conflict of currency there. If this separation of market and this supposed international competition continues, they will divide. Okay? The people of Uganda agree to a low price. The people from Tanzania will flood to Uganda. You see what I'm saying? Will flood to Uganda where the low prices is, because it's not about the issue of quality. They would eat anything. They have no other option. It's cold out there. Right? That's the truth. So we have to think on those terms. So I want to see what you can accomplish as a retaliation to this market manipulation. I want to see what you can do. Okay, I've even seen there's a case here in Tanzania about coffee, the same thing. Okay, so I want all of you in Zion and you have coffee, create a single portal where money that is coming into our continent is channeled, and every other alternative means for them to acquire this coffee illegally, like they do here in Tanzania, they go straight to the farmer and they buy the farm and they say, okay, you shall wait after you harvest. No, everything should be done in the market, openly. Okay, so you people in the Sahel, you create your own situation of the things that you produce, have a single market and a single place you can designate that this is where our market force is going to have influence over the world market, right? Because all of us, we are saying we are going to sell you for this price, and if you don't want, get out of here. We're going to drink it ourselves. Or we're just going to throw it away. We are blessed over here. Okay, but this obvious manipulation needs to come to an end. And how does it do it? I just told you how we do it. Okay, so you know the biggest buyers, you know the biggest company of buying. Why should they be buying different prices in different countries in the same continent? Do you know how divisive that is? This creates strains in the international relations. It creates tensions. Now people gotta close their borders. Now they gotta do all of this idiotic stuff. Right? Now I don't wanna hear no restriction about nothing. Just get it done. Quick. Because they are gonna form their own conglomerate to try to counter yours. And you're gonna be surprised how fast they're gonna do it. So I've given you their move, I've given you my move, and still they will lose. You just have to carry out what I just told you right now. Because what else are they gonna do? Are they gonna say, oh, we're gonna get our coffee from somewhere else? Yeah, sure, go do it. Go get it from Brazil. But our power is constant. And the product, it will be exhausted over there. And then when they come back after acting ignorant, we rise the prices. Then you'll fix this whole situation of this supposed world market control system which they put in place just to oppress niggas. Well, are you having it? That's the question I'm asking you. Are you having it? Are you allowing it to happen to your people? Do you care enough? And the oil problem, do not designate it to Dangote. It's a continent problem. Okay? So I see what is happening in Uganda. I see what is happening in over there in the Sahel. And you should be taking care of each other. Damn the world market. It's dead. It's buried. It's just numbers on a computer, brothers and sisters. So wake up. All of our minerals there should be a system where we know how much money is coming in, so as we can plan how much is going out, how much is being stolen. We can know if we have systems and particular way of doing things collectively. Okay? Because if one portion of a continent handles their gold collectively, and the other one they have broken policies, they'll just move back and forth to their convenience, and sometimes do stuff like this, fix the market. I tell you, you have no friends, oh. Hey, I am your friend. Israel, hey, take me serious. Take this serious. Like you have been doing all of these things that I've told you. And I'm seeing it. But trust me, there is more, way, way, way more to be done. So have a war mentality. Do not let your guard down under any circumstance, especially now. Especially now. Have you seen the world? Keep your head on a swivel, like I say. Right? So this situation here, I'm waiting for inspiration. Right? But I'm just, again, trying to give you perspective so you know about the forces influencing. Okay? They might say that it's all about the other side, about the northern part of this picture, but it's not. There's nothing important there. It's just deserts. Right? So no, they're not fighting over that. Where would Egypt, as an expansionist force, the Arabs, why would they be expanding to further inside the deserts? Why would they? They would expand further south. Okay, as we are called, the global south. Yeah, the broke ones. So this situation in Somalia and Somaliland, Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, Libya, freaking Arabs. The whole of Africa. Hybrids are the problem. Isn't that interesting? The scripture is telling you the truth. There is Esau and there is Jacob. Esau shall live by the sword, and that's exactly what they're doing. Every day of their lives, they live by the swords. And Jacob, that's we. We don't live by the sword. We don't live by conquering others. We don't live by exploiting others. We don't have no murderous intent in our hearts, spreading our policies and our way of life all over the world by force under the pretense of supposed democracy. So we need to look inside, literally and figuratively. Oh, for you to be a useful force to me and what I'm doing, you need to look inside. Okay, all of these external forces are going to come to you and try to make it convenient for themselves. They are always going to do that, the East or the West. They are always going to pave the way. Why do you think the Chinese are building this Belt and Road Initiative and whatever? It's to benefit the Chinese. And we are just the second-hand situation. We are just a second thought. And we are always moving stuff around to make everything convenient for them, because they have that colonial mentality. Everywhere they go, they want people to look like them, they want people to behave like them. What's the strife about in Europe? They are saying, these immigrants are not adapting, they are not assimilating to the English way of life. They just want you, if you land over there in UK, you just get your biscuit and a freaking cup of tea and a suit. And all of these people are like this. All of them. It's that white blood. And they have to work really, really hard to keep a straight path, because they are falling into evil easily. Easily. Even if they look like they have peace, they're the worst. They are the worst. And we are literally in their way of prosperity. They have nothing over there. They have done exploited everything. And there are many of them. So what do? Divide into two. One comes as friendly, the other comes as just a bad guy. Obviously, a bad guy. But at the end of the day, what they spoil, they split among themselves. So we should, like I've said, be looking inside. Okay? So I shall link this one. So they freeze the bank account of the whole Kenya airport situation. And now they are taking a war stance. Switzerland is talking about pre-war. Imagine that. And we want to handle these supposed bandits with no armored car, no choppers, no drones, no nothing. Bruh. We are taking them down now. Okay? This is just another psyop. And what is the next phase is these supposed riots. You ban them. Do not be strong-armed. They'll have their eye on that whole situation. They did it on purpose. So trade carefully, trade wisely with this whole situation. They do not let a crisis go to waste. So, yeah, that's all I had for you. That's all I had for now, right? So, love you. See you when you see me or hear from me. Bye.